So this season, the 21-22 season, there'll be record revenues in the Premier League. So it's not a surprise to see the transfer market sort of mirroring that. So yeah, second highest January transfer window ever, above the average level of the 5 that we had pre the pandemic. So yeah, very much back to normal in that respect. So I think the pandemic, obviously terrible for everybody, but there were some businesses that people really spent a lot of time with and in during the course of the pandemic. So there's the obvious ones that people talk about, like Netflix or Peloton, but another winner in that sense was top level football, in that the games were able to carry on and lots of people were at home watching a lot of top level football. And now with the return of fans to stadia as well, I think it's reminded people what an even better experience it is with packed stadia. So it's been great for the clubs, obviously, to have the fans back, and then it's also been great for it from a TV point of view. And you're seeing that in the overseas deals now. The Premier League is starting to report they're clearly being very, very successful in the market, and more successful than some of the other parties who've been out recently with their rights. So I don't think anyone will be surprised that Newcastle were the highest spenders in the window. I think when they had their new ownership and the position they're in the league, everyone expected that. What I think is interesting is that the nature of that spending. So I think people were thinking there'd be big marquee signings, big names, big money, and actually what they've done in the window looks like a pretty balanced attempt to strengthen the squad in various areas, largely with proven Premier League players. So yeah, quite an interesting contrast. And of course, yes, Newcastle were the biggest spenders, but it still would have been a £200 million plus spending by Premier League clubs, even if Newcastle hadn't spent a penny. So the bottom 5 clubs in the Premier League combined spent more than Serie A did in total. And when you consider that Serie A was the second biggest spender after the Premier League, that really puts things into some sort of context that, our bottom 5 in the Premier League spent more than the whole of the next biggest league combined. That 30-year context, if you compare where top-level English football was versus Serie A circa 30 years ago, just off the back of Italia 90 and so on, and you were to tell someone then this is where we would be now, I don't think they'd believe you. So it has been a tremendous success story, the Premier League, and there is a virtuous circle that's in effect of having the most money, therefore being able to recruit the best talent, therefore having a really competitive and exciting and appealing league to everyone around the world, which generates more money, which in turn allows investment in talent. So as long as they keep getting that cycle right, it's very, very hard to see how anyone usurps the Premier League as the number 1 league.